Hello everyone, it's been a while since the last video, and today I've got a decently sized haul for you from the Bath & Body Works semi-annual sale. A mix of body care, home fragrance, antibacterial, sort of runs the gamut of almost everything that they offer. So I wanted to just start here. I'll run through everything a little more in depth, but it won't be super in-depth reviews of everything because most folks have smelled most of these items. So just again, another sort of quick overview. I'd like you to watch the whole video, but if not, that's what the haul is, if that's what you came to see. And you know, I don't really do haul videos really all that much. Most of my videos are focused a little bit more on, you know, the review, the notes, and sort of, you know, analysis, for lack of a better word. But this one really does follow more of a true, I guess, haul format because it is sort of, you know, a mishmash of, you know, the different things I got at the semi-annual sale. This was one store, it was a test store. Of course, you know, as everyone recommends, I broke these up into two separate transactions using survey coupons, and they weren't all right at 30, but I don't think any of them were more than 35 because I really wanted to break them into transactions of 30, so there were a couple of them, and overall, pretty good deals. So first up, the thing I was most excited for, and apologies for the lighting being a little dim, but if I wanted to record it during the day and have some natural light, this is what we've got. I was most excited for this, the bergamot coriander. You know that I love all things aromatherapy. I love scents that are a little bit kind of outside of like the norm, you know, not so much your standard orange, ginger, lemon zest, but a little more weird or in depth or just kind of unique. And bergamot coriander completely fits the bill for me. This, along with lemongrass cardamom, are really two of my favorite, all-time favorite scents from Bath & Body Works. I'm not too big on their standard signature collection line as far as, you know, I don't really use their lotions. I'll use occasionally in the winter like a body cream just on my hands. But other than that, I don't, you know, I certainly don't buy their mists or anything like that. I'm just not, you know, the demographic for that. But the aromatherapy line, I do like a good bit of it, and a lot of things they come out with there. And bergamot coriander is just so fantastic. Hopefully everyone will get a chance, you know, to sniff this at their stores. I think it might be a love or hate kind of thing, which is fine. The more people who hate it, you know, obviously that means it probably won't come back, but that more that I can sort of snatch up. You know, I really am planning on probably getting 5 to 10. Not each, but, you know, probably a good maybe six or seven body washes, and, you know, I don't know, 3 or 4 of the lotions, which obviously I don't go through as quickly. But this was out for a couple of years. It was discontinued, I want to say, at this point 2 or 3 years ago. But bergamot coriander from the Energy Collection, they don't tell you much of the notes on this in the front. It just says bergamot essential oils, uplifting and energizing. Coriander essential oil invigorates and soothes to provide focus. Coriander is used a lot in Indian cooking. It's the seed of the cilantro plant, a very intense, you know, spice that's kind of, you know, hard to avoid. If it's in there and it's in something, you'll smell it. Bergamot, we all know, is a bitter orange, usually more of like the from the nectar or the petals of the bitter orange tree, so it's not so much a standard juicy citrus. What's really interesting, for me at least, with most of their aromatherapy collection, especially with this one, is they truly do use real essential oils from natural products. So whereas, you know, if you're smelling something in the shower gel, you know, like the Signature Collection, you're usually smelling synthetic fragrances, which I'm not entirely against. You know, they still smell great, that's fine. But with these, you really are getting an interesting mix of real notes. And with this one, I was very impressed with Tranquil Mint a few years back. But with this one here, this is pretty impressive when you look at it. Now, granted, not all of these will affect the fragrance. And of course, fragrance right there is one of the main, you know, just fragrance, I suppose, synthetic scent. But in addition to that, it does have, we see orange peel oil, bergamot fruit oil, coriander fruit oil, lemon peel oil, aloe leaf juice, papaya fruit extract, green tea leaf extract, cucumber fruit extract, ginseng root. So all these things that they don't really even call out in the description or the marketing of this, they're all there, which is pretty impressive that you're getting all of those true essential oils. You know, they can't say that they're including, you know, Cucumis sativus fruit extract if it's not the real thing. It's actual fruit extract from a cucumber. So when you sniff this, it is very intense, which is why I say it's a love or hate. It's so unique, such a unique blend that it's hard to really describe it. I feel like when I read that the cucumber was in it, that really showed up to me as like a cucumber peel. So like a not so much like a sweet watery cucumber like you'd imagine cucumber melon, but more like a true sort of that intense green that you get from cucumber, or like similar to a celery, kind of thing, or almost a celery seed. But you've got the spice from the coriander, you've got sweetness from all the different citrus, you got lemon peel, you've got the bergamot. The aloe, I assume, is just for moisturizing. The papaya probably has something like that as well. The green tea leaf, you don't really smell the green tea or the ginseng, because who knows what ginseng really smells like. But it's definitely there. It's a very fresh. It's also very strong. It's not overwhelming, or it doesn't like take your breath away, or it's not like too strong to wear in warm weather, where usually if it's a cologne, you don't want to wear it when it's hot out. But this works because it's so incredibly fresh. And the great thing is, this has the most staying power of any fragrance I've ever smelled from Bath & Body Works. And I say that flatly without question, because like if you take a shower using this body wash and then re-enter the bathroom 2 hours later, you can still smell it. If you put the lotion on and, before you walk out the door, an hour, 2 hours later, you can still smell it on your hands, which is more than you can say for any other lotion or shower gel I've used from them, which I don't use it to fragrance my body, but I love being able to smell it because it's such a great scent. And for me, scent has memory to it. So smelling a scent that I remember smelling frequently a few years back kind of brings me back to that time, and whether it's a good time or a bad time, it still is a comforting feeling because it's familiar. So I really love that they bring back some of their old scents like this, and like the black chamomile, the sleep chamomile, at the last annual sale, and huge finger crossed on them maybe bringing back lemongrass cardamom from the stress relief collection at the next annual sale, because that was just the ultimate. I wish they had these in candles, but I digress. Moving right along, promise not to be so in-depth on all the other ones, but I've never gotten to review that, so I wanted to talk about it. There were some good deals, nothing super crazy exciting, but there were some good deals to be had at the store I went to. So first up, you see apple crumble and apple crumble, which I love that. If you've seen my fall videos from last year, it's probably my favorite apple scent. Not a pure apple, but really is light bakery, but just a really true, fantastic apple. And I like that it's green. I like that it's a little bit off. It's a little bit different. Of course, everyone knows the returning favorites in the Bath & Body Works packaging for those candles with the old 2011 labels are back at $11. So from that grouping of maybe 6 or 7 candles, I got mint chocolate, caramel apple, and apple crumble. The apple crumble you see from last year's packaging, the single wicks from last year for fall or holiday last year were 75% off, which is really great. The ones that were $10, that ends up being $2.50, a little bit less than $2.50 if they were $9.50 originally. And then when you include that with a survey coupon, depending what your transaction is like, they can get down to $1 something, like a little over $1, maybe $1.33 or something like that, which is incredible. It's such a good deal that even if they were scents I didn't love, it's kind of hard not to grab them. But you'll see further in the video here, I grabbed ones that I only loved, which I was proud of myself that I didn't go overboard with that. But apple crumble, fantastic. Mint chocolate, didn't love it years ago. I had one. It took me like 2 seasons to burn it. But this one, I smelled it. It's sort of, again, it's reminiscent. You smell it. It really is like an Andes mint, like an after-dinner mint. I like the picture on this. It's like, again, I'm not always into the sweets or the bakery ones, but if they do it right and they go full out, which they have with this, I get it. I think the color is nice, and it really, truly does smell like sort of like a dark, cheap chocolate with a mint ice cream. It's creamy, it's sweet, it's just everything you want mint chocolate to be. Caramel apple, again, I'm not going to make this video super long, but I need to touch on this, of course. Caramel apple, I've actually never had it in a 3-wick. I had it in a single wick. The very first year, like 2010 or 11, I didn't even buy it. But it really is, it's so nice. It's got a little bit of, it's very classic, it's very warm and homey. You've got apple. It's not caramel in the way that like a salted caramel is. It's not a burnt sugar caramel or overly intense like a creme brulee sort of caramel. It's just a light, creamy, sugary caramel. You've got the apple. It's nutty. It's a little oaty. It's a little milky. Just really great. For me, it could even be called something other than caramel apple. I don't disagree with it, but it could be called something else. And it's just very, very comforting. A really nice fall fragrance. Love it. So those are those three. Then on to the 75% off 3 wicks. Again, really hard to resist those because you're talking right around between $4.87 or $5, and then use a survey coupon and it's going to be $3 and change for a 3-wick candle. Again, unless it's a scent you hate, it's kind of hard to pass up. They had a ton of, most of these scents, they didn't have a ton of Cider Lane, but they had a ton of the Twisted Peppermint, a lot of salted caramel from not just the salty caramel SAS returning label, but the salted caramel from last fall in the White Barn collection, which to me was practically scent free, so I never really liked it, and I didn't bother picking it up in that. But Twisted Peppermint, of course, the classic Bath and Body Works, candy cane holiday scent. Everyone knows it, everyone loves it, can't go wrong with it. I've got a couple actually from I think the last semi-annual sale, or maybe even 2011 candles that had the candy cane sort of label on it, but I figured it's a scent. Do I need it right now? Not really, because I've got a couple, but am I going to want to burn it in the winter? Absolutely. Why pay $7 or $8 when they're on sale in the winter time? Pay $3 something for it now, even though it's last year's label. Not a problem. Along those lines, also, Cider Lane, which was the huge hit from last year, which sort of, no question at this point, will be coming back this year. A great sister scent to Caramel Apple. Most folks sort of thought that Cider Lane replaced Caramel Apple as far as, they said, I can take that instead of the other. But they are quite different. I'm leaning towards, I almost like Caramel Apple a little more at this point because I'm used to Cider Lane, and it's more, the heart's fond for what you can't have kind of thing. So Caramel Apple is a little bit more generic, but not in a bad way, just in it's not so specific. Like, when you sniff it, you don't say, this is absolutely a caramel apple. Whereas Cider Lane, when you smell this, it is pretty spot on, like apple cider. Apple cider with, like a hot caramel apple cider. Apple cider with sort of a standard sugary caramel sauce like you can get from Starbucks, or if you're on a pumpkin picking trip and they have hot cider, or it's an apple orchard, hot cider is going to smell and taste almost exactly like this. A little bit of cinnamon, so really a great scent. Love it, completely love it. We'll burn 1 or 2 of them in the fall. Was happy to get it for such a cheap price, 75% off. But I'm also a little excited for the caramel apple because to me they are quite different. And then finally, in 3 wicks, okay, I'm trying to make this less than 20 minutes. In 3 wicks here, I've got 2 failed test scents that I ended up really loving. I would have expected failed test scents to be 75% off. At this point, though, they were only 50% off. I would imagine at some point during the sale, if they want to get rid of them, they've got to go cheaper. They were a failure for a reason. A lot of people didn't care enough to buy them when they were on sale originally. So not the best value, that these were $10 a piece. But they're 2 scents that I ended up really loving. So I wanted to get a backup of each of them. Now, Forest Trail was from the Lakeside collection. Quickly, a quick read of the notes, since a lot of folks may not have watched that video. This one is, explore the lakeside woods with an aromatic blend of redwood trees, cedar leaves, eucalyptus, and a hint of wild berries. Right up my alley, all natural, all woods, all, slightly herbal with a little bit of sweetness. Forest Trail smells, on first sniff, very similar to fresh balsam, which for me is a great thing. Seems odd to be summery, but once you go with it, it works. If you got that kind of AC blasting, or if it's a cooler summer night, which lately for us it hasn't been a super super hot summer, thankfully. It's a little cooler. It does remind you a little of winter, but if you can get beyond that and sniff, like there definitely is cedar to this. There is redwood, from what I know. The red oak scent, the Old Forest collection smell like. Not that I've ever sniffed a redwood live in person, but you've got cedar, you've got eucalyptus, you've got a tiny bit of sweetness, I suppose, from berries. It really does smell like what you would imagine a really beautiful mountain forest in the Rocky Mountains, or in Colorado, or in the Northwest in Portland or something. maybe not in Portland, in the city of Portland, but in Oregon and Washington, what you would expect the area to smell so clean. It's just so clean and really bright, with a little hint of reminding you of winter, which is kind of, it's a nice change from, you know, everything being pineapple and coconut and beaches and just that crazy intense fruity whatever, which has its place, which is great, but it's a nice escape from that, and it's really calming and relaxing. I love it. I hope it comes back in some form at some point. They could absolutely rename this something else and bring it back in the fall. It fits right in with sweater weather, snowed in, sort of that family of scents. It would absolutely, you know, fit right alongside those with a different name. So I'm hoping to see that come back. And the other one from the Eucalyptus Mint, another failed test in the entire collection failed, which I've done a few videos on these and done past reviews. Eucalyptus Mint and Guava, which reads, Guava, fresh from the tree, transforms invigorating eucalyptus mint into a mouth-watering tropical scent. For me, the main reason I like this is the eucalyptus reminds me a lot of a test scent that was also a failure, obviously, from a few years back called Eucalyptus citrus. Now, this isn't eucalyptus mint and citrus. Guava is not a citrus fruit, but it's got a heavy sort of eucalyptus. The mint is there. The guava just makes it kind of creamy. If they reworked it a little bit, maybe took a little of mint out so it wasn't quite so eucalyptus mint-like, I think it could be a success. It's just a really nice, again, it's kind of fresh, but it's still summery and warm enough, but it's a break from super, super sweet. So I really like that one a lot, and so that one was also $10. Then quickly, we can just probably run through the 6, 7, 8 single wicks I got here. Again, these were 75% off, so again, $1 and change when you do them as a survey coupon. It's impossible to beat. You know, 4 of them for $10. That would be what? Let's see. You could do 12 of them for $30, and then your survey coupon, so get 12 of them for $20. It's just, especially when you have great scents like this, it's, you know, how can you not do it? So I grabbed 1 fresh balsam, which you can never have enough fresh balsam. 2 White Barn No. 2 Chestnut and Clove, which is the Winter Cabin from 2011. Came out last year as White Barn No. 2. Hopefully it'll come back this year too. I think it's a really great sort of transitional fall into winter, just really nice scent that's not exactly holiday and not foodie, and just, I love it. Everyone's favorite, Cranberry Pear Bellini. How can you go wrong? They must bring it back this year. It's my favorite sort of, it really is to me a New Year's scent. I start burning it probably in December, but it can take you all the way into early spring, into, you know, February. A really true, bubbly, sweet, but not being overly sugary. You know, you've got your cranberry, you have the pear, obviously. Just a really, really nice, pretty pink, great scent. And I grabbed one just because I needed to hit 30 in one of my transactions. So those were the mini, little tiny ones were on sale for $1.50. So again, that was 98 cents using the survey coupon. So I just grabbed that one. 2 Firesides. One reason that I got these ones, aside from being scents that I love, they are scents that I know, sorry, I'm just repositioning here, that I know are strong enough in a 4-wick, or 4-ounce single-wick candle. Some scents give you no throw when they're that small, but I know that these ones are pretty strong, and especially Fireside, sometimes you don't need more than the single wick. And it's just so strong. Everyone, again, knows what it smells like, and on the off chance that it wasn't going to come back, perhaps, no idea, I wanted to grab these to make sure I had enough. And then Bonfire Maplewood. Didn't love this last year. I smelled it again, and it's grown on me a bit. Again, smell anything in the off season, and you're gonna love it just because it's so different than everything else you're burning right now. A mix of crackling fire, sweet fig, cardamom, vanilla, and firewood notes. It's weird. It's Maplewood. Yeah, it's Bonfire. It fits in a little bit with like the snowed in sweater weather sort of family, where it's a little sort of oddly sweet, but not in a foodie way. So I like it. It was, again, $1 and something with change. Why not? Then, finishing up home fragrance, just got 4 wallflowers, mostly failed test scents. As you see, sage and cedar, Eucalyptus No. 4, guava, No. 5, herbs, and then just 1 $3 Flower Shop which again, Flower Shop didn't come back this year. Hopefully they'll bring it back next year, but I wanted to at least have a wallflower for next season that I could burn if they don't bring it back because it's such a great scent. Sage and Cedar, I did a review uploaded in early April from the White Barn collection. It was Sage and Cedar, Oak Moss and Vetiver, Sandalwood Citrus, and White Water Birch, if you want to know more about that. And then Eucalyptus Mint number 5. Number 5 was the one scent that did not come out in candle form. I was most excited when I heard Eucalyptus Mint in herbs, because again, me, herbal, anything I love. It only came out in room sprays and the wallflowers. I bought the room spray and I didn't really like it. It was kind of strange, but I figured it's rare. I like herbal things. I'll give it a shot. If I don't like it, those were 75% off, so they were I think $1.87 or $1.67, and after the survey coupon, they were right around $1, I think. So if I don't like it, obviously just throw it away. But I'll give it a shot. It's something, again, sort of unique. So those are the wallflowers. And then from the Signature Collection, the $3 shower gels, Rain-Kissed Leaves, White Tea and Ginger. I really love that. It reminds me a little bit, actually, of the White Tea, White Tea and Green Pear. No, gosh, it's one of my favorite old Slatkin candles. Yeah, Green Tea and White Pear, I think. Candle, and it reminds me a lot of that because it's got the tea. This must have some fruit in it of some sort, aside from the ginger. So great. I love that. It's slightly floral, but not really. The problem with their Signature Collection now, and I think most people agree, besides the fact that it's so, the names are so silly, and it's all purely marketing, and they're just sort of a floral on a floral on a floral on a floral. For me, they don't really do unisex Signature Collection scent releases anymore. Sometimes it'll be like a little quick trio of, but like a coconut or the mango and like the berry and stuff, but that's still pretty sweet. And most everything else is the super feminine, floral scents that I just have no interest in. So I usually stock up on shower gels during the semi-annual sale when they bring back things like Rain-Kissed Leaves or Dancing Waters, which are great. Rice Flower and Shea, White Tea and Ginger, all great things, all very unisex, and just fresh. The Rain-Kissed Leaves, I wouldn't call it simple. A lot of people want like the old Signature classics of, the 1 or 2 note things, your Cotton Blossoms, and which they do bring back, the Juniper Breeze and things like that. Rain-Kissed Leaves isn't exactly simple. It's sort of intense because you can't pick out a whole lot of the notes that are in it, but it's very pure, it's fresh, it's unisex. The men's line is just crap. It's trying to be so like Axe body spray, like fake cheap cologne masculine, and that's not what masculinity is. I think it's just junk. But things like Rain-Kissed Leaves and Dancing Waters I really like, so I tend to stock up on those. And finally, before I make this into a 25-minute video, just grabbed 5 soaps. These were all $3. I was really happy to get Mandarin Blossom and Italian Lavender. Those were the 2 standouts, along with the Sicilian Lemon from the Italian soap collection. I really love those. I've purchased a couple of each of these since the collection first came out. Mandarin Blossom is just, I've talked about it before, I love it. Lavender, can't go wrong. This is a little softer than the typical fresh lavender they have in their core collection, which is why I grabbed that. And then How Can You Beat, Island Margarita, Island Nectar, and Ocean Citrus. I don't remember Ocean Citrus. I suppose it was maybe out with like the Dancing Waters, Rain-Kissed Leaves sort of line of things, and maybe that's when it was discontinued. Island Margarita, I've never had in a hand soap, but it'll be great for like dead of summer, July, super hot out, really sweet. Same thing with Island Nectar. Island Nectar for me is very much like a July, August scent. Very sweet, very intense, but during those couple of super hot summer weeks, right before you hit fall, I like that one. And then Ocean Citrus, I'm just going to do a quick sniff on it because maybe other people haven't smelled it the way that I was not familiar with it. If I can open it without spilling everything. Alright, I'm just going to pick that up. And of course they don't tell you notes on the soap containers, which is tough. It's fresh, it's very light. There's some citrus in there, slightly generic citrus, which is okay. Like perhaps maybe like a lemon, a little bit of an orange, something like that. Ocean it's just watery. It's not really like anything particularly oceanic to me, but it's very nice. It's not the ocean line is not now like the corals and the. I think I like the one like the ocean pearl or something, but some of them like the corals and the whatever the other ones are just too like the island bamboo. They're too either floral or just too intense, and it makes them smell as cheap as they are, basically. So this one's kind of light. So overall, thanks for sticking with me for this long-ass video. Just again, so quick overview of the semi-annual sale. I may go back to see what else, different stores have. I don't expect a whole lot of variety beyond what I got here, because this is sort of the first day. But let me know what you've got. If you've done videos, please post them below. I'd love to see them. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have some haul reviews of the first wave of fall test scents from the White Barn and Bath & Body Works collections. So I'll definitely see you then. If you have any ideas for videos along the way or anything you want to see or hear, let me know. And until next time, take care.